Welcome back to the channel, everybody. They believe they're being set up. You think not? I told you. They all feel like there's this setup coming. I'm talking about the bank leaders. They feel like there's a setup coming and they don't like it very much. This article is titled "The $300 billion Backdoor Threat That Europe Didn't See Coming." Stop it. They did see it coming. They just didn't want to go against the powers that forced them to do this stuff. They just don't have it in them to go against that. And I understand it because there's consequences for that. But they saw it coming. Come on, stop it. Now, why are they? So backdoor, let's clarify that. Backdoor is the new way of saying you're being set up. Remember in the old school, we said, oh, that's a setup. Nowadays, the youth and the current popular culture calls that backdooring. You're getting backdoor. Somebody's setting you up. They're coming through the back door to get you. That's a setup. That's what this means. And didn't I tell you that? So what's the setup? The setup is stable coins. Why? It's twofold. Number one, it forces them. Let's just get this out of the way. It forces them to utilize native tokens. That's number one, because they are the bridge currency. They are the liquidity on chain. And stable coins are just being forced on everybody. So if you're forcing stable coins, you're sort of forcing the native tokens that fuel them, that allow them to proliferate globally. Yes or no? Yes or no? You tell me. All right. So, okay, just making sure we're on the same page. Somebody out there I know right now is like, Mick, we're not on the same page. Don't get it twisted, Mick. Even though I watch you, we never been on the same page. I know. But I appreciate you being here. Still. Even though you come to argue with me all the time, that's okay. It's all right. I appreciate you being here. So anyway, but yeah, so let's click in here and find out what they're talking about. This is coming out, right? While they're also saying, look at this from Bloomberg, similar sentiment. Stablecoin boom requires close monitoring of risk. Okay, so let me flip to the other page, the other side. There is a reverse side to every shield, right? So one, and it's my humble opinion from my research, it forces them to utilize, to some degree, native tokens, although they'll never discuss that, but we don't need them to. We know how this actually functions. That's the power of knowledge. Two, their system is being rigged for collapse. My apologies. Let me laugh for once. It's been a hard week. Like the week just started big. Well, whatever. The last 7 days has been difficult. Let me get a laugh in. They're getting rigged and they don't want it. They don't want their system to be rigged, even though their system, just like all other systems, in my humble opinion, I mean no disrespect, is ripe with corruption. Anyway, that's wild. No, don't harm my corrupt system. What? How do you develop such a mentality? But so the U.S. is saying this is going to happen. We're allowing stable coins to proliferate. We're the leader. This is how they feel. All right. And this is why the European Central Bank was talking a certain way before. They were saying, hey, we're looking into how to limit U.S. dollar-based stablecoins, but there's a problem with that. All right. So don't worry. We're going to get back to the whole aspect of how this all fuels the native tokens. I mean, possibly. There's no guarantee to anything. There's no absolution here. But I'm playing with thoughts. I'm presenting my thoughts. I don't expect you to agree and all that type of. I'm not here to convince you. Okay. Not financial advice, all that jazz. But so Europe was saying they wanted to limit U.S. dollar-based stable coins coming into their system. The U.S., of course, they did not like that. Why? You hear the U.S. I mean, just listen to what the U.S. is saying. Oh, U.S. Treasury Secretary, which is very strange. Oh, well, we want stable coins to be a substantial part of our financial system. Really? So they're taking it serious. They're like, well, listen, we're going to stick this little stable coin that's equivalent to dynamite in every banking system that we can. If anything happens, it goes down. We make a massive profit. We institute this new financial system, which they're hoping. They haven't done it yet. New financial system is neutral. That's their power. They better stay that way. But you and I both know the U.S. hopes they could slant it. They hope they could slant it, right? Like who that lean back. They're hoping to lean that system back, like Fat Joe and Remy Ma, in their favor, of course, right? So they're saying, hey, we want to profit off this. We want to institute this new system. We feel like we have a lot of say, even though they really don't. Like the Bankcoin families were smart. They better stay neutral. If they want the ultimate power, they want the ultimate flood of capital to come in. You stay neutral. You stay neutral. You take the capital from China's banking system. You take the capital from the U.S. banking system. All those interbank payments have to be connected. And there's outward rebellion against SWIFT right now. That's what was potent from the whole ISO thing. Not rich messaging. You think, folks, we could do this all without them. I said this for years. We could do this without. We don't need their banking system. We don't need SWIFT. We don't need any of it. We don't need their messaging. Their weak technology. I mean, no disrespect. That's how I feel. All of their stuff is weak in comparison to the new financial system. That's why they're on their knees begging companies to work with them. Please connect to us, please. Oh, great Bankcoins. Right. First, you were hating on the Bankcoin SWIFT. Now you want to be one of us. You want to be a part of the system. So, no, what was important about that was, like I said, watching whether the banks complied or not. As of now, until they come out with new numbers, 60% were in rebellion. Folks, we're in the driver's seat. If you like this type of content, take those powerful hands of yours and click that like button. This is all stuff you can research yourself. Not he say, she say, mix it. No, you type that. You look this stuff up for yourself. All they've been able to do is make connector pieces. Okay, so now back to this here. It says here, this is from Bloomberg, the recent boom in stablecoins requires close monitoring, even if financial stability risk appear limited for now. Folks, that is so crazy to say that. Understanding what's actually going on with capital, what's going on with liquidity, what's going on with private credit, what's going on with commercial real estate globally. How could you say such a thing? That doesn't even make sense to me. I don't want to give too much away. I had to re-record this members only video. It was that impactful. I need to get that the right way. I had it recorded. I had to re-record it to really pack all the information in there in a way that's more clear. But anyway, so I don't want to, certain things I want to say, I just can't say it. I got to save it for that members only video. Hey, I'll see you over there. I'll make sure you're there. I'm telling you, this one's going to be impactful. Let me skip over. How can I go around what I really, really want to say? There's something that's very obvious to people I say better take note of, not because of crypto. I don't know what people do with crypto. I'm just a researcher on camera. That's all. But when it comes to lives, people better know what's going on with this banking system. It's intertwined with everyone's lives. Oh, direct deposit goes to the banks, or even the exchanges. Oh, I'll use an exchange. I'll use some other account. That's all intertwined with the banking system. I'll use an NBFI. They're intertwined with the banking system. You better look into that. Who gave the NBFIs, non-banking financial institution you're dealing with? Who gave them loans? Who funded them? Who's funding their activities? Who's behind them? Huh? Did you see those members only videos? Listen, I'm always for calling an institution, and not advice. I'm just saying, I would call an institution and find out, hey, is everything healthy? Do you have any documents that you can provide to make sure that you're good to go? I'm just saying, there's something major going on. All right. So people listen, but they don't hear me. That flow is pretty good, right? They listen, but they don't hear me. It's like philosophical almost. They used to say that in a lot of rap songs in the 90s too. They listening, but they don't hear you though. They don't hear you though. And you don't know. Stop, man. You don't know anything. Oh, Mick, you ain't say that, right? You don't know anything about 90s hip hop. Yeah, I'm on you. Get out of here. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know, what you want to debate on? You want 90s hip hop? 80s movies, 90s movies? Sport, man, stop it. You have to get me, you have to debate me then, because I don't care about nothing after 2000 as far as mainstream media at all. After that, it's just all books. Yeah, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to grow my mind. What were we talking about again? You distracted me. That's your fault. Back to crypto. All right. So you have that Europe is on pins and needles right now because they have a bunch of problems. You saw that video. Look at the video that I made where Christine Lagarde is in the thumbnail. All right. Each thumbnail, I try to tell a little story about what's going on without using words, because we use words for so many years, right? I'm trying something new. Look at that one. They're on pins and needles right now. Europe is having a bunch of problems. You can get the information from that video. A bunch of problems in their banking system right now. It's not. So they have to be careful. I get that. All right, so let's go here. So you have that $300 billion backdoor. Let's go back to that article for a moment. Bear with me. Let's read just a little tidbit from there. Here we go. For the European Central Bank. Let me put my hand up so I know to put the article piece here. My apologies, folks. The $300 billion backdoor threat that Europe didn't see coming. They did see it coming. It's just that they're helpless. There's nothing they can do about it. They can't stop this no more than China could stop it. China couldn't stop it. U.S. doesn't want to stop it. U.S. wants this. The U.S. is very good at profiting off of something's downfall. Simple as that. Whether people like it or not, that's just true. They profit when something goes up, when it's built, and they profit when it goes down. No, none of these countries have been able to stop it, but they saw it coming. Don't try to deceive me. I don't like that. Crypto slate, no disrespect, but I don't like that. It says, for the European Central Bank, the stablecoin market transformed what was once a crypto native curiosity into a new channel for importing American financial stress. Importing American financial stress. All right, let me see where you're going with this. I'm going to tell you right now, Crypto Slate writer, that Europe has a lot of problems going on their own. Digital euro and euro denominated stable, though they have problems of their own. I don't think they really have to worry about USD stable coins, US dollar based stable coins, to be honest. That's the least of Europe's problems. Once again, we get the switcheroo. Hey, what's that over there? While they pick your pocket, it's that whole over there while they do something over here is the whole point. That's what I'm getting out of this. Europe is like the US stable coins. I think you have a lot more to focus on, Europe. Don't worry. I know that your hand is in the XRP. But why is XRP and XRPL and Ripple and all these other companies, why were they able to do business so easily all throughout Europe? Can anyone explain that to me? I mean, even during the bloody bear market where everyone claimed they hated crypto, all the legacy actors, why were they able to do so much business? Huh? And then you got quiet about it. Why was Quant able to do so much business there easily till it taken a ton of banks? Why were they able to do that? Why was Quant able to work with Sia Chain, Sia Partners through the time where they were merging with another company? Why was that allowed? Huh? Can you explain that to me, Europe? Since, see, they have their hands in the native tokens pockets. They want those native tokens to explode, but they need some way to distract the people while they possibly bring down the system. Hence stablecoins, the distraction. Now, Europe is a little bit, it's like, I haven't monitored them closely enough to pin everything on them the same way that I would the U.S. We've been very tight with watching the U.S. So I know the U.S. In my humble opinion, I know the U.S. wants to bring down the system. It's either they're vastly incompetent or this is all a setup and they rigged the system to come down so they could profit on the way that going down, and the institution of the new financial system, they'll profit on that going up. Europe, I'm pretty sure, is very similar. Very, very similar. So now let's go here. It says here, stablecoins originated as crypto plumbing, tokens pegged to fiat currencies that enable traders to move in and out of volatile assets without relying on traditional banking systems. Another thing aside from deposit erosion that stablecoins can cause, that's one, look that up if you don't know, and the exacerbation of bank runs, that's two problems that stablecoins can cause. Look that up if you don't know. Also, stablecoins, because they're attached to fiat currencies, which have a massive amount of problems and are on their way out, they share the same problems as that which originates their power. That's like someone being sick, right? And they put on a mask and suddenly everyone expects that problem, that illness to go away because they put on a mask. No, the person is still behind the mask, still sick. And now they're just sick with a mask on. That's what stablecoins are. That's what there's fiat currencies with a mask on. That's all it is. So they share in those very same problems. And The fiat currency problems intertwine, obviously, with the legacy system that props it up. This fictional value that Bitcoin has no value. No, your fiat currency has no value. Your fiat currency is agreed upon value. Your fiat currency has had problems for decades and has been propped up. Your fiat currency is manifested and printed out of nowhere, nothing. That's just the way it is. And I know people don't like to hear that. And yes, I know they argue back against it. I've seen it, heard it. It's in the comment section all the time over the years. It does not negate that is the truth. And so that system is going away and they know it. And so the reason for me saying all of that is that's why they're protecting themselves with massive amounts of gold, real value. And I just hit my microphone and I hope it didn't go off. Sometimes when I hit it by accident, it's the lightest touch. It'll just go off and then the whole video's ruined. That happened to me many times. And I like to do one shot, one take. That's it. I don't have a lot of time in the day. I just don't. I just don't. So now it continues. That narrow use case now sits on a market capitalization of more than $303 billion. So you see the juxtaposition there? Europe is like, whoa, $300 billion. They're trying to backdoor us. And that's my interpretation. That's their title here. $300 billion backdoor threat. And yet the U.S. Treasury Secretary is like, yay, stable coins are going to be trillions of dollars. Yay, guys, everybody clap it up. Like some junior high cheer squad. Which one is it? You decide. You tell me. Which one is it? Is it that they're a threat? Because stable coins bring the same problems to every system. So who's correct? Europe or the U.S.? Are stable coins a threat? Like I've been saying, I'm just pointing out the obvious. They're a Trojan horse. They're a Trojan horse for the bank coins, period. That's the whole point. Bring down that system. They need the bank coins. They need the bridge currency aspect. And who's going to profit mostly off the bank coins? The insiders, the government officials, the bankers, who it was made for, the ones who are going to buy, while retail is selling. Yeah, that's who. They know that. That's why they keep it quiet. They keep it quiet. It's the Trojan horse. They need the liquidity, externalized liquidity, because your FDICs and everything else are not enough. Let me tell you, I asked this before. My apologies. My apologies. I asked this before. Is it a setup? Right? Is it a setup? They institute stablecoins. Stablecoins bring down the system. Bank coins were made for institutions and being heavily bought by institutions, retail selling heavy, while institutions buy bank coins that were literally made for them. They're cheering on stablecoins that Europe is saying, hey, there's a problem here. BIS is saying, hey, there's a problem here. IMF is saying, hey, there's a problem here. You tell me why. Who's right? Is it the US? Oh, yay, stablecoins. Or is it Europe? Quizzical eye. I don't know about this right here. Only stablecoins. No, they have some problem. Which one is it? What's the truth? All right. So now I had let me just tackle this little light information here. There's a lot of XRP Bankcoin information today, folks. Once more, if you enjoy this content, boom, take those powerful hands. The power is in you. The power is yours. And hit that like button. So XRP's Japan push. We already know XRP is going to dominate. They've seeded XRP and XRPL throughout Japan. We've heard from mega powers in Japan that they believe Japan will run on XRP. We know RLUSD by now is the Trojan horse to bring XRP and make it an integral part of everything. It is the, what do you call it? I'm forgetting the pieces to the engine. It's the serpentine belt. It's it's the parts of the engine, right? RLUSD is the body. Holy smokes. I'm thinking about this one part to the internals of a car, and I just can't think of what the heck the name is. That's how tired I am. My apology, folks. Hey, I am but a person, but it says here, YQ1 2026 RLUSD launch could be a game changer. Again, that's a good title. Props to it's on Yahoo Finance. Once again, I don't know what's going on. They've been stepping up their game. They've been doing very good lately. But game changer, I suppose. Listen, I don't feel that way strongly because XRPL has already once again been seeded like farmers do on a farm, seeded throughout Japan already. The business relationships, Ripple and SBI and a few others have been there shaking hands and making partnerships for years. And you want me to believe like RLUSD, this is the game changer. Like it's but one more facet of what was already going on. It's just one more aspect of what they were attempting to do. That's it. In my humble opinion. So I guess I'm being a little bit picky, a little semantical there. It says here, Ripple will launch its RLUSD stablecoin in Japan by Q1 2026 with support from SBI Holdings, of course. Japan accounts for more than half of Ripple's global ODL volume and offers they need it. Japan is in a very precarious position. Did you see the articles I posted the other day? I believe I posted them. Did you see those? Did you see, if you didn't, just look it up. Did you see what Japan is thinking about doing with more? Listen, folks, look this up. Type in a little Google search. Is Japan doing more stimulus? I saw an article about that. I said, what? We're going to dominate in Japan. They need liquidity. That's what that means. We're going to Japan. No disrespect. Love the culture. I love Miyamoto Musashi, Book of Five Rings. I love reading the Hagakure as well. I'm well versed in Japanese, learned Japanese language for 2.5 years. No, so I mean, absolutely no disrespect. Your financial system is about to get dominated. We're going to take that bank money. It's just a matter of time. The setup is there. We're watching everything manifest now. Before we were just, putting the pieces together mentally. Now we're seeing it actually happen. Holy smokes. But let's keep going, folks. Things are looking great, in my humble opinion, for bank coins and bank coin holders. Not financial advice. I don't know who does what, who has what. I'm not here to influence anybody. I'm not an influencer. I merely present my ideas and the information. That's it. All right. So now back to the article. I'm not concerned with XRP's price right now. That's not why I'm here. So XRP traded between $2.13 and $2.39 despite new ETFs. Yeah, ETFs always kick off slowly. We already covered that a long time ago. We saw what happened with Bitcoin. It takes some time. I'm not concerned with that whatsoever. I'm keeping my eye on the ball. I'm keeping my focus on what's important. Interbank payments, payroll, RWA. These are massive explosions. Sure, could ETFs at some point make a little bit of waves, a little curry shimmy shake? Sure. But I'm looking for Air Jordan off the free throw line type dunk. Boom, you get two of them. That's interbank payments. Boom, Jordan from the free throw line. RWA, another one, another dunk. Boom! That might be that's like Shaq or just ripping remember Shaq ripped the backboard off and just smashed the glass? You're like, I want to do that. we all thought that, didn't we? Yes, you did. It didn't matter what size you were. It didn't matter if you were a man, lady, or whoever, adult or child. When we saw, we were little back then. When you saw Shaq rip the rim off the glass, even though he fell down, it was dangerous. You're like, oh, I want it. Everybody was trying to rip the rim off the backboard, right? Except if you had the rim with somebody's like, Mick, there's some rims you can't rip that. Sure, yeah. Especially you wouldn't even want to do that. The ones that used to have the metal, remember the metal nets? These children today don't know about the metal nets. Now they have what? It's like a nylon or string material. It's all soft. And a long time ago, folks, those metal nets, you would shoot and they would stick to the metal pieces would bond together or something, or you remember that? And it would start to like kind of bond together in a way of make the net so tight you couldn't get the basketball out. You remember that? You remember that? Oh man, we had a lot of fun back then. I miss those times. You could go to any park There's people all over the place playing sports, and you could just jump in. Who remembers that? Let me talk for a minute. Who remembers that? You could do anything back then. You could play soccer. They had massive soccer. You could just jump in. Basketball, you could jump in. Football, whatever football you do. I'm very serious. You remember that? Don't play flag football. You thought flag. I saw flag football a couple months ago, and they actually pulling the flags. Like, pull a flag. Oh, that's it. Stop. I didn't know flag football in that way. Flag football, it was full tackle. You were praying, please grab my flag, grab my flag. Right? You grab the flag, play's supposed to be over. You were praying, please grab my flag. They were tackling the hell out of you. Boom, 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 slam, clothesline. Whoo. That was some regular, now that I think about it, wait a minute, that was regular football. but still, you could just jump in. Man. Even when the people, it could be adults. They do a double dutch, and they just let any children jump in. It'd be two adult ladies, and they doing what's that double dutch thing? And everybody jumping in, getting their heads slapped with the wire. You know, man, those are some good times, man. Wait, oh wait, this is Crypto Channel. Hey, you distracted me. Let me share some good times with you, man. Jeez, you act too tough. You're too tough. Hold on now. He's like, Mick, I don't want to think about all that soft stuff, Mick. Mick, let's get back to the crypto. That's my lady voice. That ain't no lady voice, right? My bad. I can't. My apologies. All right. So now back to this crypto stuff. Franklin Templeton's XRP ETF. It says Franklin XRP ETF XRPZ has received approval for listing on the NYSE ARCA and began trading on November 24th, 2025. The ETF. Okay. So today, the ETF provides investors with exposure to the price movements of XRP through a regulated, all that jazz, all that good stuff. All right. So one more ETF. XRP is looking good in my humble opinion. Good things are happening. They're building up, and that's how things go. Build up a little steam, and then you get the poof. You get a little explosion or a little pop. You get something, but everything is built up over time, right? And that's what we're watching right now. All right, so now let's go here. I thought I had a little bit of Bitcoin news. Oh, we do have a little bit of Bitcoin news. Okay, so is this from BlackRock? I believe. Yes, it is. All right. And I like to examine everything that BlackRock says. So this article here is titled, Investors Focus on BTC as Digital Gold, Not Payments, BlackRock executive says. All right. Well, digital gold. Let me allow them to elaborate before I give my opinion. Bitcoin's payments role remains speculative and would require major scaling progress to become practical. Bitcoin may inspire bold visions of a global payments network, but that's not what is driving the bulk of institutional money into the asset today, according to Robbie Mitchnick, BlackRock's head of digital asset. Wait a minute. All right, I'm going to posit this to you. I'm going to ask you this question. They keep saying digital gold because it sounds good, in my humble opinion. But our people, just think about this now. What did we just witness? This mass sell-off, right? Whether it's manipulation or legit selling, either way, mass sell-off. Has that happened with gold? I remember a gold at $1,500, $1,600, $1,700. Is gold around that price? Is gold around $3,500 right now? Is gold around $3,200, $3,000, $2,800? Is it around there right now? Okay, so there hasn't been this massive, there have been some selling, there hasn't been this massive sell-off of gold. Okay, so now let's just put those there to have context. So in that way, what do they mean people are looking at, their clients are looking at Bitcoin as digital gold? What do they mean by that? Is it just a phrase that just sounds good? All right, so what are they actually trying to convey? So Bitcoin is not being used as a payments network. We got that. That's clear. But what they're saying is akin to what I've been saying. They're just using different wording. Bitcoin is a moneymaker is what they're saying. It's a moneymaker, not a store of value, because, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people didn't store it for very long, their value. They pulled it out. They sold. They liquidated. That's what okay, so that tells you by experience, Bitcoin is a moneymaker, not like gold where it holds value for a long period of time, where it protects from the rigors that are about to happen or could happen within the financial industry. So I don't like that type of deceptive speak. No, it's not digital gold, it's Bitcoin. Digital gold is digital gold. Gold has its digital renditions. That's it. But let's read this little tidbit here. But at least, okay, I understand what BlackRock's trying to say while also simultaneously grasping that they're going to put a little bit of a facade on top of what they're saying, a little mask, a little deception on top of what they're saying. It's what they do. So it says here, it continues, institutional investors are treating Bitcoin primarily as a store of value. Really? You say that when wasn't it you that did most of, I won't say most of, a large amount of selling recently? So what were you storing? All right. I mean, if it's short term, is it still store of value? If they're just milking it for value, that's it. That's not store of value. Store of value is like gold, where there's been capital held in gold for years. And probably is not going anywhere because it's a protective asset, hence store of value. Store of value also denotes protection. Let's not pretend like it doesn't. Store of value goes hand in hand with protector of value, protective value. That's gold, not Bitcoin. And I'm not saying, listen, I love Bitcoin, but we have to call it what it is, a moneymaker. If not, then that's how people get into trouble, in my humble opinion, is when they see something as something that it is not. One thing could appear to be such, and it is not what it appears to be. I'd rather know what it is substantially or substantively than to just go by the appearance of such, which is deceptive. And I'm not one who likes to deceive myself. It says Mitchnick says Bitcoin's payments role remains speculative and would require. Okay, so that what BlackRock is doing here, in my humble opinion, is speculative. They're shooting down the whole payments thing because they want it to be a moneymaker. They want Bitcoin to be a moneymaker. They want it flowing in and out, in and out. That's how they play the game. They set the chess table up. When there's massive selling, then other companies will buy in. And then BlackRock comes in, they buy some, or they position themselves well before there's purchasing by other companies, and then they sell on them and take their value. They know even if other companies buy in at a low price, then BlackRock gets back in, which they never get completely out. Let's just be clear. Then that price goes up a little bit more. Companies do a little bit more buying. BlackRock has the power, has the researchers, has the analysts to get out before everyone else. They have the power to move the markets. They are in control, in the driver's seat. They know that. So, and thus they need Bitcoin to remain a moneymaker and not a store of value. Because if it's a store of value, they're holding long time like the holders of gold do, then there's some money making going on, but not a whole lot of it. It's just going to be sitting there, and that's not what that company needs. Make sense? What that also tells me is this is exactly why they were pushing more of Wall Street to get into Bitcoin, because BlackRock wants that Bitcoin price to skyrocket, which is a great thing for Bitcoin holders. If the price of Bitcoin skyrockets, that's more for them to take from other companies. There's thousands upon thousands of companies that are going to play with Bitcoin. They're not in yet. And BlackRock wants to take that value. Simple as that. Once more, that's great for the few, because there's a massive amount of selling and people going away from Bitcoin. This always happens. We'll see if they come back. But that's for the few that will be there in the future when Bitcoin's price skyrockets. All right. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.